We'd like to thank everyone for coming out. We know everyone have a busy schedule. We want to give compliments to Ms. Heather Bryant and the Political Action Committee. For those who are here, let's give it up for them. Mr. Larry Enns, Diane Boone, Dr. Leonard Porter, Imani Drew. Again, no videotaping, no photo ops, no political paraphernalia. Our panelists this evening is Mr. Lee Provost of the Daily Journal, Mr. Steve Nelson of WVLI, Ms. Imani Drew, Attorney Imani Drew. Our timer, designated by the NACP, is Mr. Jess Gatlin. At this time, we would have an opening statement from the 4th Ward Alderman, Mr. James Falford.
Do you want me to stand?
It's on you. I'm sorry, Jim. It's a 2-minute opening statement, okay? Yep. Thank you.
I want to thank you for inviting me here tonight. I'm 4th Ward Alderman Jim Fafford. I'm a lifelong resident of the 4th Ward of the city of Kankakee. I graduated from Kankakee schools. I went to Westview, back when it was Westview. I hold a Bachelor's of Science and a Master's of Business Administration from Olivet Nazarene University. I'm retired from the Illinois Department of Corrections. As a business manager, I maintained budgets of up to $23 million at Dwight. I am now, as a retired state employee, I'm now a substitute teacher throughout Kankakee County. It's been my honor to serve the people of the 4th Ward in the city of Kankakee these past 4 years. I worked hard during my time on the council to answer the concerns brought to me by the citizens of the 4th Ward. I don't always have the answer that you want to hear, but I do strive to get the answer back to you. I've worked hard to make the city of Kankakee a more vibrant and appealing city in which to live and work. I served on the committee that brought the new wayfinding signs. These signs give Kankakee a new look, one that says, "We're here to stay." We are an historic city with a bright new future, and I believe these signs say to come and join us. I want to commend Mayor Nina Epstein. It is due to her leadership that the city's budget has been balanced for the past 4 years. I serve on the Finance Committee and watch carefully the resources of the city and how these resources are allocated. We've maintained a balanced budget for the past 4 years, regardless of the tough economic times that we've encountered. The state of Illinois, as you've read in the newspaper, is very much behind.
2-minute opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. This is all new to me. This is my first time running for office. I'm a lifelong resident of the South Side, except for 2 years out in Limestone, where I became a paramedic. I worked as a paramedic, and I retired as a paramedic in this town. I believe we have a fantastic city here. We have a lot of things going for us. Unfortunately, a lot of this is untapped right now. We need more jobs. We are not utilizing what we have available. We have a beautiful river here, but we're not utilizing it. We are 60 miles south of Chicago. We're on a main rail line. Where is our tourist industry? There are things to be done here. We have a fantastic city. We have a fantastic neighborhood. It just needs a little bit of a tune-up. And I promise that I will answer phone calls. I will respond. I can't guarantee I'll fix everything, but I will respond and I will act on things and I will return phone calls. That's all I can ask of you. This is new to me. You help me, I'll help you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chris Curtis, Alderman of the 6th Ward.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight, and I'd definitely like to give a special thank you to the NAACP for hosting this forum tonight. My name is Chris Curris, and I'm seeking the election of the 6th Ward Alderman seat in Kankakee. Last July, I was very humbled and honored that I was appointed the Alderman to work for the city and to serve you. I have found that by leading and working for you has been a very rewarding experience, more than I ever had anticipated. I've lived in the 6th Ward for over 15 years. I'm currently a principal with Nugent Curtis Real Estate, which is located in downtown Kankakee. I am proud to call Kankakee my home, and even more proud to know that my business is located here. I work daily in attracting businesses and jobs to the area and understand what it takes during these difficult times of the past year that our country has faced and what we need to do to forge forward. With my business ownership background and my knowledge in finance, insurance costs, operating expenses, I will endorse and continue the balanced budget that the city is preparing and to create reserves for the city's future. I look forward to tonight's questions in the next 14 days and earning your confidence in me to continue to be your alderman in the 6th Ward.
Mary Archie, candidate of alderman of the 4th Ward. 6th Ward.
6th. Good evening. My name is Mary Archie. I resided in the 6th Ward for over 37 years with my husband Ezekiel. I have 2 children and 9 grandbabies that I'm very proud of. I am here to answer your questions, whatever you have. I've been living here. I graduated from Westview High School, and I'm also have a degree from Government State University. I am here to serve not only in the 6th Ward, but the city of Kankakee. As you know, all the times that we have ups and downs in the last 27 years, the city has gone down. Not only in the 6th Ward, when you look around and you see the boarded houses, but I asked you a question, there are some houses that no one's living in the 6th Ward, but they're not boarded up. We should take care of the whole community. We need to work as a team. And that's why I am here to work as a team to help the growth of this city, not just the 6th Ward, but mainly the 6th Ward, because I am here to serve you so we can make a change in the 6th Ward as your next alderman. Thank you.
We're in the next phase of asking questions. There'll be a question answered by the panelists, starting with Mr. Lee Provost. Mr. Petroni, you would be taking the first question, and there's a 1-minute statement answer. Mr. Provost.
Okay. What do you consider your ward's biggest weakness and at the same time its biggest strength?
Right now, I think my ward, our biggest problem is, as I walk the neighborhood, I come up to a house and I see 4 mailboxes on one home. Multi-family dwellings are a bane to a neighborhood. We need to have houses bought by people that own their own home. Those are the people that are going to take care of their property. Right now, we have nothing but multi-family homes, and it just brings in more crime, more problems. But the strong points of our neighborhood is we have a lot of people that have lived there and lived there all their lives. And they're dependent on people like me to try and keep the status up instead of letting it slide. And you can talk to any police officer and they'll tell you the biggest bane to a neighborhood is multifamily housing.
And the strength?
The strength of our neighborhood are the people that have lived there all the,
Mr. Curtis.
I'd like to start with the positive, and I think the strength of the 6th Ward is we've got a lot of natural things that are there. We've got the river. We've got 2 very good parks there. We've actually got more than 2, and we've got a lot of events that happen, especially when we get this warm weather here with the bike race. We've got some 5Ks, the boat races during Labor Day. Those homes down there and that whole 6th Ward, just a beauty when you get to the fall time or the spring when the flowers are blossoming. It's great for when the tourists do come to this area to see the boat races, to see the bike races, the things. It's what we want Kankakee to be thought of. On that probably the biggest difficulty that we're facing right now is the home ownership and the vacancies that we've had with some foreclosures. It's a difficult thing to handle. Being in real estate, a foreclosure process takes a very long time, and a lot of times that leaves the house empty and abandoned for a while because the bank and the process of going through. That's our greatest hurdle that we have to do, is to get those onto the back to the sale market quickly.
Mrs. Archie.
I'll start with our weakness. The weakness in the 6th Ward is leadership. As Mr. Curtis said, he's into real estate. And I know it does take time when there's foreclosure on a home, but some of those houses have been boarded up for years. So, and I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. Now to go to our strengths. The strengths are the people that care about our neighborhood that are still there. Like myself, I've been there for like 30-some years. And the people that are there because we love their neighborhood and we want to see it grow and things to get better there. But right now, things are the same. There are certain parts of our neighborhood that is going forward and there's other part that is not. And there we need a change.
Thank you. Next question will be coming from Mr. Steve Nelson of the, I'm sorry, Mr. Fafford. I'm sorry.
In the 4th Ward, we do have many multifamily homes, but the crime statistics do not show that they're a problem. We do have a safe neighborhood. We have many homes where the people have lived there most of their lives. The people in the 4th Ward are our biggest asset. They're a great group of people that live on the south side. Our parks. We have 3 major parks in the 4th Ward. We also have the airport and a quite diverse group of people and assets. The 4th Ward is one of the strengths of the city of Kankakee. We have small business, large business, factories. It's just a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, you have the next question, and the question goes to Mr. Curtis.
Chris, city councilmen in Kankakee are elected on a ward basis. Some cities practice citywide election of their city council members. Some believe that fosters a sense of unity and a sense of collective wisdom in dealing with a community's problems. Would you be in favor of the city councilman of Kankakee being elected on a citywide basis, or do you favor the current system?
I'd have to say that I favor the current system, and the reason being, the city, we're a larger city than most of our surrounding neighbors. And I've even found this as, I've been doing this for 8 months now, and while we're a small, close-knit group, there's still a lot of people that I'm meeting each week and each day. And I think as we work on our committees, we do work as citywide. Each alderman is on one of the committees, and so we talk about citywide things. But what I like about the alderman system now with the awards is it's very easy for us to talk to our neighbors, for the neighbors to find us. They can come down, they can knock on our door, they can call us. And it's an area that, while I drive the city all the time, I'm driving my ward daily. And I'm sitting there understanding what's happening there, and I can bring that back to whether it's Public Works, Code Enforcement, the mayor. So I think it works well that we've got 7 wards and it's diverse, and I think we should keep it that way. I think it creates a tighter-knit community within the community.
Ms. Archie.
I think that we should go citywide because understand what he's saying about you're going to take care of home anyway. I mean, if you live in that ward, you're going to take care of that first anyway. Most people take care of their home first before they go out. So I think citywide would be great.
Mr. Fafford.
I prefer the present situation. I think to try and respond to every neighborhood would be very difficult. The diversity of the cultures in all the neighborhoods, I know the 4th Ward, but I'm not as familiar with the 7th or the 1st or the 3rd. But I'm familiar with the 4th Ward. I know the people. I know the problems. I know how to solve that. If I ran citywide, although I would still maintain my connection with the 4th Ward, to try and find the problems and correct the situations in other wards would be a lot more difficult. So, as it stands, we have 14 aldermen in 7 different wards, each one taking care of their own area. And I think that works better so that we can concentrate on just our area, and then as a group come together and concentrate on the whole city.
Mr. Petroni.
Right now, I believe that the best way to handle things is to have aldermen representing each ward. We know our neighborhoods. I have actually touched every door in my ward. I've walked every street. I don't drive the streets, I walk them. But what we do need some changes. We need a little more transparency in government. Enough of this stuff behind closed doors. Yeah, why can't we put the city council meetings on our local public access television station? Why does this all have to be done behind closed doors? Decisions are made without any input from the citizens. It's time to open things up and let the citizens govern our city. The time is now. Thank you.
Ms. Drew, you have the next question. The question is to Mrs. Archie.
Each of you have spoken as to the weaknesses in your respective wards. What do you regard as the most critical issue facing the ward, and if elected, how would you go about addressing that issue?
I think one of the critical points in my ward is there is no unity, not the unity that I would expect in any situation. There's so many, when I walk from door to door, and I know a lot of people, this is not my first time that I ran. So I talk to a lot of people and I ask, what do you want from your leaders? And they tell me, well, I can't get a phone call through. If I call my alderman, they don't answer my phone calls. And I said, well, what's going on in this ward that you would like to be changed? And that's what they said, we're not together. Like at the north of the 6th Ward, take a look at that. It's not together with the south part. Like I said, more houses are boarded up and closer to my area, in the north part of the 6th Ward, than in the south part. We are not together. That is really a weakness in my ward that I would like to change. We need to come together as a unit, as one, and work for the city of Kankakee.
Mr. Fafford.
I'm finding in the 4th Ward as I walk around that we have more houses for sale than I'd like to see. I'm hoping that it's elderly people going to assisted living, but I'm afraid it's not. I'm afraid people are leaving the city of Kankakee. I think that's our biggest problem. We need to find a way to keep our young people here, employment, good schools, whatever it takes to keep people here in the city of Kankakee, and cut down some of the for sale signs that I've seen in the 4th Ward.
Mr. Petroni.
Mr. Fafford makes a very valid point there. I agree that there's far too many homes for sale in the 4th Ward, and there's also far too many homes that are boarded up right now. As I've been walking the neighborhood, what disturbs me is I see far more alarm signs in windows from alarm companies than I do neighborhood watch. That kind of says something about the neighborhood. Evidently, people are afraid, and they're afraid for a reason. We need to cut down on some of these boarded up houses. That's just somewhere for somebody to go get copper out of. But we need to have jobs in this community. Right now we have no industry, but we do have agriculture. There are jobs available in agriculture. We have a beautiful town. We have a beautiful river. We have a railroad that comes right through here. There should be jobs available for tourists, tourist industry. Look what we have here. Look around. We have a beautiful town. We got to take advantage.
Mr. Curtis.
I think as we listened to all the answers here, there was a consensus about homes for sale and boarded up homes and things of that nature. I think that's, as I look back, as I said, I deal with this, and I've just been your alderman for 8 months, but I've been dealing with this for 21 years here, and Kankakee has actually been, we didn't get hit as hard as Chicago, Las Vegas, Phoenix. I mean, this is something that has hit the United States for the last 4 years. On a positive note, I think we're starting to see the outcome of it. Right now, I was just talking to a different realtor the other day, and we just had 3 closings in the 6th Ward, and there's 4 more slated in the next 3 weeks. That's 7 homes in a month. We haven't seen 7 homes in a month anywhere, whether it's Bradley, Mantino, Bourbonnais. That hasn't been moving much anywhere. It's taking some time. It's not just a city of Kankakee thing. It's a nationwide issue. And the good thing is I think we did not fall as far as some of those other areas. I think so our recovery won't be as big of a hill to climb. And I think we're starting to get there.
Thank you. Mr. Provost have the question, and the question is to Alderman Fafford.
What do you believe is the job of an alderman?
The job of an alderman is to represent the people of your ward. You have to work with the people of your ward, answer their questions, figure out and find out their concerns, address those concerns, work with the rest of the aldermen of the city of Kankakee, with the mayor, with the department heads, with the various departments to address and fix any problems that are brought to your attention. We can't fix everything with the budget the way it is right now. We have a very tight budget. There are things that need to be fixed, but we have to prioritize them. That's part of the job of the alderman, to prioritize the need for the resources that we have available to us.
Mr. Petroni?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, an alderman's got to be the spokesperson for your neighborhood, and they have to be accessible. An alderman is no good unless they respond. And part of being an alderman is look out for your neighborhood and try and improve your neighborhood while at the same time working towards improving the city all along. Like I said, we have a beautiful city. We just need to tune it up some. But be accessible. Answer your phone. Talk to people. Can we fix everything? No. But we can talk. And we can see what we can get out of it. Thank you.
Mr. Curtis?
I think the job of alderman is basically you're a liaison. Your job is to be that conduit between the people and the city departments. Since I've been alderman for 8 months, one of the first things that I did, and I still do and will continue to do if I'm reelected, or if I'm elected, I'm sorry, is I provide my cell number. I'm always accessible. I tell everybody as I've been walking around, you can call my home, but call my cell, because I can get something done a lot quicker at 10 in the morning than when you call me at 8 o'clock at night, because it's going to have to take till next morning before I can get a hold of somebody. But if you call me at noon, if you call me at 2, if you call me at 8 a.m., I had a lady the other day call me at 7 in the morning. A little early. It's okay. I'm up. But I was able to address the situation right away at that time. So, again, I go back. Our job is to be a liaison to the heads of the departments so that we can fix the things that can be fixed right away.
Ms. Archie?
I think the job of an alderman is to represent your ward, be held accountable for your actions, and to serve with the best of your ability.
Thank you. I'd like to ask a question, and the question goes to you, Mr. Petroni, and that is, what is the proper procedure for the management of TIFs, and do you think the city have used TIFs in a proper form?
Well, I believe that the TIF funds can be, very valuable to the city, but it's how they're managed. That's another thing. It's how everything is put together, and how people are playing favorites here or playing favorites there. It can be a benefit to the community, but it also can be quite a detriment to the community.
Can you take that a little step further for me, as opposed to a detriment?
Excuse me?
As opposed to the detriment, you say it could be good and a detriment. Can you elaborate on both parts?
When it looks as if certain playing favorites in certain areas, for certain people, and TIF funds have been provided, and basically they've failed. On the other hand, they can be put to good use.
Mr. Curtis, same question, and you can elaborate also.
Sure. This is one area that I'm pretty clear-cut on how I stand. I believe TIFs are a very good thing. People will sit there and say they take away tax dollars from the body, and as exactly the opposite. TIF dollars are necessary in attracting retail, industry, any type of business, because all communities, municipalities use it, and trust me, the industries are going to seek it. With these TIF dollars, you got to understand that they're used when they're a vacant land site. They're an ideal thing. Whether it's Eastgate Industrial Park, where you had farmland that was bringing in maybe $10 an acre for taxes, and you're going to give somewhat of a break for the taxes there, and they're going to create a $100,000 tax bill in 5 years out. Eastgate's a great example of that. South of town with the Walmart and stuff, another great example. You may have used those TIF dollars for infrastructure to get those roads in, to sewers and improvements. What it creates is sales taxes that we didn't have there before, real estate taxes that we didn't have there before. It may take some time, but it's better to get it in 5 to 8 years than it is to get it never. So I'm a very strong proponent of TIF.
Thank you. Mrs. Archie.
I think any funds that's coming into a city, the problem that Petroni was talking about is where the funds are going and how they are used. So yes, funds coming into your city is going to help, but also where are they going to help? Where are you going to put this money? And who is it going to help? These are the questions that the people of Kankakee of all over wondering about with any kind of funds that's coming into a city. So this is where you just can't take funds. Everybody should have a voice in what are you going to do with them. Because you are in charge at the moment doesn't mean that funds that's coming into this city, you can take and do whatever you please with it without going to the people. The people need to know how much, when, where, how, and why you are putting it where you are putting it. So that's the problem with TIF funds and any funds that's coming to any city.
Mr. Fafford.
TIF funds are used in the area in which they're collected. So if we collect TIF funds for Eastgate, we return those dollars to improvements at Eastgate. They're not used on the south side of Kankakee. The Walmart dollars for the TIF funds are used in the Riverwoods expansion area, exit 308. One of the places where Kankakee is growing. TIF funds are used for sewer development, roads construction, everything that is needed to bring in more industry, more jobs.
Okay. Mr. Nelson, you have the question, and the question goes to Mr. Curtis.
Identify for me the single most pressing issue you feel city government right now is not giving enough attention to, and what steps need to be taken to change that lack of attention.
I'll speak loud. Right now, it's a tough question to answer because I think there's so many different things I'm working on. But as I'm walking the neighborhoods now, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Is code being something that is being a person that we're working with our people, or are we making it more difficult? And I think code is a very necessary thing because it's a health and safety thing. And I think it's something that we really need to remember that is for the health and safety of the residents, but it also should be a engaging action where you're helping that person accomplish the renovation, the fixing up of their home, and not making it difficult. I think that's something that if somebody wants to put a deck on their home, make sure it's done the proper way, but also give them some of the guidance to make sure that they get it completed and they just decide they don't want to do it.
Mrs. Archie?
I'll say jobs. So many people here that don't have jobs. When there's not a lot going on in the economy, then you're going to have crime. You follow me? It's just going down. And then this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So main thing here, we need to bring more jobs. When we bring more jobs here, that means we're going to need more businesses. But if you come off I-57 and turn on Court Street, and when you see all the flashing signs and the big billboards that you can buy gold here, who's going to bring their business here? You know what? I've talked to people that have told me this. They will not bring a business to Kankakee. So with businesses, we're going to have jobs. Without jobs, we're going to have crime. With crime, the city is going to go down like it is. Look around, people. The city is going down, down, down. We need a change, and we need it now.
Mr. Fairford.
What are we not paying enough attention to? We're trying to pay as much attention to everything as we possibly can. I think our biggest problem is boarded up housing. We can't necessarily fix that problem because the city doesn't own those houses. But it would be very nice if we could get somebody into those houses. And we do have grant programs that help in the assistance of down payment and rehab. I think maybe what our biggest problem is we don't project the number of resources that we have to the citizens of Kankakee. We need to use our Channel 4 a little bit more to get some of these programs out so that people know them and can understand them and use them.
Mr. Petroni?
I believe our biggest problem right now is lack of jobs. We got a lot of boarded up houses, but you can't afford a house if you don't have a job. And look at the biggest employers in this town: St. Mary's, Riverside, and Shapiro. Now, the only other jobs that are available are service jobs. You can't make a living, working as a waitress. You can't make a living, on these menial jobs. They've chased out all the industry. We've got to capitalize on things.
Excuse me. There's no applauding. I truly appreciate that. I
thank you very much anyway. But we need to get jobs that you can support a family with. How many people do you know that are working 2 and 3 jobs just to support a family? How are you going to make a house payment? The houses are boarded up because nobody can afford to buy them. That's got to be taken care of. We need some employment in the area.
Mr. Curtis. I'm sorry. Ms. Drew, next question, and it's to Mrs. Archie. I tell you what, hold that thought. Let's deal with jobs and unemployment here in the city. Start with Ms. Archie. There was an article in the Daily Journal, I think Friday or Saturday, quoting the unemployment rate at probably 15% or 14%. I think the article was written by Mr. Provost. There was a strategic planning at KCC last week dealing with some of the facets of training. So the word is there are jobs. However, there's Kankakeeans who do not qualify or are not trained for the job. So as alderman, when elected, what would you do to train the populate of Kankakee to get the available jobs that are here?
First of all, there's so many people in Kankakee that don't even know about jobs that are available because they cannot afford to get the paper. They just don't know about them. Because I've talked to people and I've told them about jobs that are out there that maybe they could get. But again, like you said, they need training. So what we need to bring some programs here. Out at KCC, at Olivet, we can do them at the churches, we can do them at the city buildings, we can do them here. What's going on downtown at the building that the city got, the park district got? That need to be open for people to come in and train people with the new jobs or the old jobs or the prospective jobs that are in Kankakee. Because otherwise people got to leave Kankakee to work, and that's where they're going to live. So when I'm elected alderman of the 6th Ward, I would do my best to bring programs here to train people for the jobs, not only in Kankakee, but they'll be trained well enough to go anywhere and have a job. But hopefully to stay here in Kankakee and put their tax money here so we can improve the city of Kankakee.
Mr. Falford.
KCC just recently announced a jobs training facility, an expansion of their facilities in the 4th Ward. We have jobs in this city, good paying jobs in this city, but we do not have people trained to take them. We need to work with KCC, work with Olivet, and get people trained to accept the jobs that are available. IKO makes shingles, BASF makes chemicals. Sun Chemical just expanded in the 4th Ward. All these places have jobs available. We need to provide the training for the people to accept those jobs. And we can do that through KCC, we can do that through Olivet. We can work with the city and provide whatever training. We've got to work on training. Job training is number one. We have jobs, but you've got to be trained to take them.
Mr. Petroni.
Unfortunately, the jobs that we have available don't pay well enough to support a family. You can't pay a mortgage. You can't feed your family at $9 an hour. That just doesn't work.
Mr. Petroni. This is one of the major issues from the NACP Labor and Industry Committee, and the question is, as relates to training, our committee deemed that there are jobs, and my question is, each one of y'all and the other persons who are elected, what will you do when elected to train, let's just say, the people that you represent in the 4th Ward? How are we going to train these jobs? Because there are statistics saying there are jobs, and they're not the meaning restaurant or waitress jobs.
I beg to differ. From what I understand, that most of the jobs available aren't.
Well, we can talk after, and I can show you. But go ahead.
Enough, but yes, let's get some more business in the area. Bring some more business to us, so people have an opportunity to go get a job. Right now, there's really not a whole lot out there that you can live on. Whether you have the training or not, there's not that many jobs out there that this city is large enough. It should be able to support itself, and it's not doing it right now.
And I'm not just debating with you, but there's a factory in your ward that is hiring now. However, in meeting with the HR yesterday, in a meeting that, and I'm talking BASF, cannot get the necessary people qualified for those jobs, along with Dow Chemicals and others that are within the city of Kankakee.
With them just yesterday, so
I sit on the committee, so I'm just saying.
I'm unaware of this, but yes, by all means, if we could train people to get these jobs, that's fantastic. But how do we go about it?
That's what I'm asking you.
That's what I want to know.
Okay.
I'm here I'm going to be an alderman. I want to hear from my people, in my community. How can I help you?
Okay. All right. Question, Mr. Curtis. Same question.
You know, this is one of the things I had thought about, and it's been one of the things I thought if upon being elected sixth ward alderman that would be a major project and would want to bring forward is maybe we work, and I don't know where the dollars would come from. I'll have to be honest, I don't have that answer for you. But maybe the city of Kankakee can work with the businesses within Kankakee that to help potentially fund, whether maybe it's transportation issues of getting them out to KCC or getting them to this new workforce that Kankakee has. Maybe we, if there's some CDA money or something that we can use for transportation costs on the bus system or something, maybe it's even potential credits to the businesses for so many, if they hire so many people that reside in the city of Kankakee that the company pays for the training, gets a commitment from the worker to stay for an X number of years, and maybe the city assists in that cost of that training or gives a break back to that company for hiring based on number of jobs. Again, where this money comes from, I haven't got that far yet, but I think that might be an angle that we could look at.
Okay, thank you. Question, Ms. Drew. Question to Mr. Fafford.
Are there significantly underdeveloped areas or empty spaces in your ward? And do you have any suggestions for the uses of such spaces? And if you can incorporate in your response, are there any specific areas that can be developed to encourage retail, provide green space, or increase the availability of affordable housing?
The Fourth Ward is the largest ward in the city and area. We do have a lot of green space because a lot of our area is farmland. Now, we do have Exit 308, probably the fastest growing area in the city of Kankakee. We just recently built a new Walmart out there. We have a new strip mall out there. We have one of the busiest KFCs and Taco Bells in the region out there. There is plans for a new gas station going in out there. Thank you. We do have green space. We have space for more housing. We have space for basically whatever you want in the Fourth Ward. We go from Curtis Avenue or Callista Avenue clear out to the airport, so we have plenty of space.
Mr. Petroni.
Primarily, the Fourth Ward has always been known as a neighborhood. But when you go out Route 49, there's a lot of area out there that could be utilized much better than it's being utilized right now. We do have, I foresee within the next year or so, we're going to have a bunch of Black Hawk helicopters sitting out at our airport. And it's going to happen. I sat down with Blair out at the airport and talked with her. The airport's going to expand. There's talk of possibly bringing in it's going to be like a freight hub. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen. The Fourth Ward has a lot of potential. It just has to be nudged a little bit.
Mr. Curtis.
In regards to the particular question there, I think the Sixth Ward poses some challenges because we have some natural boundaries that we really can't expand on. We have the river, we have the highway, we have residential to the north of us. So we have a limited area. Most of our area is either occupied with residential, industrial, or homes. We're kind of an area that is not on the main corridor, so from a retail standpoint, it's kind of difficult to do that down there. I think what we need to do is utilize two areas. We do have a couple industry areas down there that is vacant. The difficulty is actually getting the truck route to them and cutting through the residential neighborhood. So it's kind of trying to retrofit or finding a new use for the old acetate factory. Probably the biggest hurdle for us is our homes that we have, is getting those back occupied with owner occupants. But back to your question, it's just difficult for our ward area because of our natural boundaries, and everything is pretty much taken or built on already.
Mrs. Archie.
It's mostly, well, it is all residential there. We do have the old acetate building that no longer is in operation right now, which can be used. And we have the river, and that's about the limit of our resources to bring in something into our ward. But there's always a possibility, or some of those homes older homes that are boarded up, they can tear those down and bring a park in. Maybe we could tear some of them down, there's quite a few of them, and bring industry there.
Mr. Provost, you have the next question. It will be the last question before we go into the closing statement.
Are the city's negative issues such as crime, low home ownership, lack of jobs perceived to be greater than they actually are?
Question, Mr. Curtis.
I actually believe they are perceived greater than they are. I've lived in Kankakee since 1984. I have many friends that live outside this area, and they sometimes question why I reside in Kankakee and not somewhere else. And I tell them it's because I love where I live. I love the old homes. I love the historical charm. And they'll question, do you feel safe with your young kids and family? Do you let them walk around after hours things? And the answer is absolutely yes. We've never had an issue with that, there are many people that use Cobb Park walking after hours and things of that nature. Are there problems? Absolutely. But I think it's a greater perception than it actually is. Do we need more jobs? Yes. Do we need to take care of some of the homes? Yes. Do we need to reduce crime, which has currently been happening? Yes. However, it's not as bad as, I would say, people to the north sometimes think it is. And part of that is, I would call the Chicago news media from the standpoint of, they're not going to, if it's in Kankakee County, they naturally lump it to Kankakee. So sometimes we get some of the other areas associations.
Ms. Archie.
Well, yes, I think as people perceive it to be, it's worse. A lot of people don't get out and look around. They're afraid. I can understand Mr. Curtis' kids being outside playing where they live, but on the north side of Kankakee, there's a little danger there playing outside, but it's where he lives. And there are some places in Kankakee that have cameras, and there are some places that don't have cameras. So the crime is high on the north side, crime is lower on the south side. And that's just about everywhere. But don't fool yourself. Crime is high in Kankakee, and it hasn't just now started. But we need to work together in unity and take care of this crime and bring more jobs here and bring more industry here in Kankakee. The problem is we are not working together. And as a city, for it to grow and to become better, we need to get together and work together.
Mr. Fairford?
I think they're perceived to be much worse than what they are. The crime rate in the city of Kankakee has been down for the last 2 years. Home ownership is increasing again, not quite as fast as we'd like to see, but as Chris pointed out earlier, it's nationwide. So Kankakee has a lot of good things to offer. And I think it's a reflection of a city that's moving forward. We do have some problems, yes. But are we working to solve those problems? Absolutely. Are things worse than what we perceive them to be? No. The perception of what Kankakee is basically unfair. If you've lived here, you've seen what we've gone through. Kankakee is an up-and-coming community in which I'm very proud to live.
Mr. Petroni.
Anybody that thinks that we don't have a problem with crime in Kankakee is living in a false world. We've got more problems here than anybody wants to acknowledge. And that's just the truth. I worked as a paramedic in this town for nearly 20 years. I know what happens in this town. I look out my kitchen window. Through my backyard, I'm looking at the model motel. You tell me I don't know about crime? I live on the south side, and everybody wants to candy coat everything, and gloss over everything. No, crime's happening. It's happening. And the problem is, now I see, there are foot patrols and bicycle patrols. I haven't seen a foot patrol or a bicycle patrol on the south side ever. So let's face reality. We got problems, and we got to get them taken care of.
Next question. Mr. Curtis, you started it off. Is that correct? Miss Archie, you will start the closing 2-minute statement.
As Alderman of the 6th Ward and represent the city of Kankakee, I would do my very best to my ability to represent the 6th Ward and the city of Kankakee. We have a lot of crime here, and we need to face the facts and not sugarcoat anything. We have boarded up houses that need to be, we need to take these houses and sell them, try to cooperate with the people that own them. If the city is going to buy these homes, the city needs to sell them also, some to people that can afford them. We also need to bring more industry here so that we can have jobs. When people have jobs, there's less crime. And we know there's plenty of crime here in Kankakee. As Alderman of the 6th Ward that I'm going to be in the future here, I don't want to just say this ward, that ward. I want to work for the city of Kankakee. I'm here to serve you, and I want you to bring all your concerns to me. And I am so sick and tired of this division in Kankakee. With so much division here, we need to come together as a body, one person. We all say we love Kankakee. We want to do things to bring more jobs, more energy, bring people here. When I first moved here to Kankakee, we had so many stores downtown. We had several theaters downtown. We had all these businesses here, and now everything is just gone. No one wants to live here anymore, and that is a crime and a shame. We, as a people of Kankakee, not just the 6th Ward, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever, we need to get together as one body and work for Kankakee. And that's what I'm all about. I'm here to serve you. Thank you.
As the Alderman of the 4th Ward, I have responded to your inquiries. I have worked to help both the people of the 4th Ward and the city of Kankakee. Being an alderman in this city is not something you just walk into and start making a difference. It takes time to learn how the city works, how the city council works. It takes time to learn what the city government has jurisdiction over and where you have to put things in the hands of others in a higher office and hope that there are enough people who agree with you or feel the same way that you do that you can make a difference. I have the experience. I know how to make a difference in the 4th Ward. I've worked for the people of the 4th Ward in the city of Kankakee and would like very much to continue my efforts. There are many great things happening throughout the city of Kankakee. Some of them are more obvious than others. Some are still on the drawing board, and many are still in the works. But the 4th Ward is playing an important role in the revitalization of our city, and as a lifelong resident of this ward, I would like very much to continue to serve the citizens of the 4th Ward and the city of Kankakee, and I would ask that you vote to re-elect me, James A. Fafford, Alderman of the 4th Ward. I'm
going to be straight up with you, folks. I'm new to this. I've been asked to run, and I'm going to give it my all. I believe in the city. I believe in the 4th Ward. And I believe we have some things that need to be taken care of. We've got a great city. It just needs a tune-up. Give me a chance. Let me help you. You know, what's sad is, look around. This is all the people we have here. This is all the people that care. Come on. We need to get people involved, and we need to take care of our city. We need to take care of our neighborhoods. Just give me a shot. Let me see what I can do for you. Thank you.
Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight, and again, for the NAACP for hosting us tonight. I'd also like to thank Ms. Mary Archie for participating. And I'd actually be remiss if I didn't thank my wife and my 2 kids for allowing me to serve Kankakee. They've put the effort and time in to let me be away and do this, and they're fully behind me, and hopefully will let me do this for another 4 years. I believe I have many qualifications to be the alderman for this great city. I've currently served on many committees and boards where I've assisted in seeking creative financing and helping maintain their finances for organizations. I believe this, with my business background, I can help guide the city's financial future. For the past 22 years, I've been involved in commercial real estate and have promoted the area, bringing businesses and jobs here. I'm proud that with my real estate company here in Kankakee, that we can continue to bring more here in the coming future as things are starting to turn around. I regularly have attended several of the national conferences, the ICSC Retail Conference in Las Vegas, the SR Fall National Conferences in the spring and fall. And I'll tell you, that's where these businesses start their process for looking for a municipality. You've got to be at these places, and that's where I'm at. I'm on a daily basis trying to bring business and industry here. And it's a long process, but you've got to be there, and that's what I'm doing for not only the ward, but the city of Kankakee. I also believe that with going to these conferences and my real estate, that my economic development can help promote why they should come to Kankakee. I've also mentioned earlier that I've always provided my cell phone for the last 8 months as your alderman, and I will continue to be accessible on a daily basis for you so that we can help the residents not only of the 6th Ward but the entire city. I thank you for the opportunity tonight, and I'm asking for your vote on April 9th to continue to be your alderman.
Thank you. I just want to, on behalf of the members of the NAACP and the officers, just want to thank you for taking the time out. We wish you luck on Tuesday, April the 9th. We want to thank our panelists for coming out, and we want to thank all the audience for coming out and take your time.